I hope you don't get the sickness.
My boy Kurt is a stay-at-home dad, watching Disney movies he never had. His daughter digs through all the VHS, crushing the classics in a princess dress. Informed like Scuttle, Kurt's got your ticket, making it real like Jiminy Cricket. Most off the Captain Hook, but if the Tweedledum, he'll be taking more shots than Bambi's mom. Leaves him raised like Simba, or cracked like the beast dishes. He'll show you a whole new world, you won't need 3 wishes. Stay-at-home Disney dad.
Home run this movie was. Like, I started this trip through the Disney library watching these classics on VHS like I thought they were supposed to be watched, and now I'm second guessing everything I thought was true. This movie looks so good. The 3D animation and colors are like nothing I've ever seen before in animation, and this might be Disney's best looking movie I've seen so far, but I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's back up. Let's start at the beginning today. Heads up, I'm probably going to repeat myself a bit because I just wrote this intro right now and pasted it above what I'd already written the other day when we watched Coco. So this week, we start our Epcot World Showcase 11 Pavilion Tour as we watch a corresponding Disney movie with each pavilion as we roll towards episode 100. First of all, Epcot, heads and tails, my favorite park. My wife and I have a plan that one day when the kids are older, she and I are going to go to Disney World, just the two of us, for 11 days and get blackout drunk each night in a different pavilion. Until then, we can do this. Yes, I'm drinking coffee through a straw. Shut up. Last time we went to Disney World was back in January of 2019. We ended up with a crazy amount of meal tokens, so we sent our then 13-year-old on a food tour of all 11 pavilions, tasting and rating a signature snack from each pavilion. I'm going to add those to the end of each movie review as well as we do this. So we start today in Mexico. I love this pavilion. Right off the top, I know my thing is reviewing old Disney movies on VHS, but I already reviewed the 3 Caballeros, so we gotta go with Coco, and I've been looking for an excuse to watch some of these more recent Disney movies, and this is it. The Mexico Pavilion might be my favorite, to be honest. Donald Duck of the 3 Caballeros character meet and greet right outside. Then you walk into the Mesoamerican Pyramid, and it just takes you to a whole different world because it's so dark in there and atmospheric. Last time I was there were Coco-themed games to play in the entrance that meant nothing to me at the time. And then you go deep into it, and you see the tables of cool merchandise to buy, and you see the restaurant seating area, and there's a freaking boat ride in the middle of the pavilion. Yeah, I believe it's called the Grand Fiesta Tour starring the 3 Caballeros. So you get on a boat ride similar to It's a Small World, but more intimate, right in the middle of this pavilion. The first time we went to Disney World, we had no idea this was even there, and it was one of our favorite surprises from our trip. But let's do it. Let's start. Coco. Different music over the Disney Castle intro. I don't want this every time, but once in a while, it's amazing. Already got to point out the great animation here. Amazing intro montage telling the story of a musician who left his wife and daughter, and the wife learned to make shoes. This whole recap is moving images like projected onto hanging clothes on a clothesline. Really effective. We go down the family tree, and Miguel is talking to his mama Coco, who is married to a guy that left his family to play music, and her daughter is Miguel's grandma, mom, the family. Not a fan of the deadbeat rock star. The boy is high-strung and has a lucha wrestling mask, so I love him already, and I love this movie already. We are off to a great start. Because of the passed down scars from the deadbeat dad choosing music over family, this family hates music. Kind of weird, but okay. Miguel, however, of course, loves music and plays the guitar and sneaks out, and he loves the iconic musician Dela Cruz, who was crushed to death in the 40s by a giant bell. There's a lot of setup already in this movie. There's a talent show, and Miguel wants to audition. Miguel is shining some guy from a mariachi band's shoes, and he tells him to follow his dream, but then his family shows up, and Miguel panics and shoves his guitar into the mariachi guy's hands and kind of throws that guy under the bus as Miguel's family all turn on that guy for pushing his musician ways on poor Miguel. That's funny. Again, I already love this movie. Mama has dementia and Miguel has a hidden treehouse with all his music memorabilia. And this is also where he practices his guitar. There's a giant shrine and he has a VCR with a bunch of recorded off TV Dela Cruz specials. And we have a winner. So today, on my VHS Disney review show, I'm watching Disney Plus, streaming a movie about a kid watching a VHS tape. Irony noted. I hope King Triton doesn't find this place. So Mama is actually great grandma. Grandma is mad and hates music, but his mom is actually pretty cool. He's lighting candles in his house around a family shrine. All of the pictures of deadbeat great-great-grandma have had their heads torn off. Miguel accidentally breaks a picture frame, and the picture folds out. And the headless great-grandpa is holding Dela Cruz's famous guitar. Miguel realizes his deadbeat great-great-grandfather was Dela Cruz. Miguel is excited and runs around the city telling everyone, but Grandma shuts him down when she finds Miguel with a guitar and she smashes it like WWE. He says he doesn't want to be part of this family anymore. He defiantly runs to the talent show and they say, "Sorry kid, you need a guitar. Can't perform without one." He's sad and he asks the statue of Dela Cruz, his great-great-grandfather, what he should do. The statue's plaque says, "Seize the moment." The animation, the colors, the quality is like nothing I've ever seen before in a Disney movie. Amazing. There's an indoor shrine in the middle of the city full of Dela Cruz items, and one is the famous guitar. So Miguel breaks in and he steals the guitar. He asks the shrine if it's all right to borrow it. He strums it and leaves dance around him, and wow, the animation of that 5-second scene was incredible. The cops see that someone broke into the shrine, they come in and they walk right through Miguel like he's a ghost now. Miguel is now a ghost. He runs out and he sees dead people everywhere. He ends up in a graveyard, which is probably not where you want to go if you suddenly see dead people, but whatever. The way the dead people glow, again, incredible. He sees his dead relatives, and I feel like saying all this out loud sounds more bleak than it is. This is wonderful and fun. His relatives say he's not dead enough and lead him to this crazy bridge. I cannot get over how the animation makes the leaves sparkle and glow. At the top of the bridge, you see a wide shot of the city. I'm selling out. I've been waving the standard def VHS tape flag for a year and a half now, and I was wrong. This is the way. This animation is the way. They get to the other side of the bridge and they have to go through customs. He meets a dead guy in drag trying to sneak out to go to the other side of the bridge. There's a lot going on here. Dead drag guy gets busted, but then he makes a run for it, and the officials grab him and drag him back to that side. See, to be able to cross back and forth on the bridge, you need a family member to have displayed a picture of you after you die. He does not have this, so he's stuck on the dead side of the bridge. Miguel realizes he's cursed. Okay, he meets his great-great-grandma who can't cross the bridge anymore because she was in the picture that he dropped. So technically, there's not a picture of her on display anymore. And yes, she used to be married to Dela Cruz. A great jump cut between his dead great-great-grandmother standing there and the picture of her that he broke. This is a great moment. There's a lot of rules. Okay, only a family member can allow him to get back to the other side of the bridge. He needs their verbal permission, but they can make conditions. He can only go back if he gives up music. He agrees, but then he grabs the Dela Cruz guitar and he tries to make a break for it, and the guards bust him and he remains on the dead side. His new plan is to find Dela Cruz, because technically he's family, and he will give him permission to return to the side of the living without the no music stipulation. There's a lot of moving parts, like I said, but this is well thought out. This is how you write a script, people. We see the guy that got busted trying to run across the bridge in drag, and he's telling people that he used to play with Dela Cruz in his band, and Miguel confronts him and explains how he's actually Dela Cruz's great-grandson. The dead guy's jaw drops, and then his eyes fall back into the sockets and land in his jaw. Again, saying that sounds dark, but it was super fun. The dead adult tells Miguel, "You can help me, and I can help you, and more importantly, you can help me." Money. The guy covers Miguel in a skeleton face paint, so the plan is that this guy is going to take Miguel to see Dela Cruz, and then when he gets his great-great-grandpa's blessing, and he's going to return home, then he's going to still be able to play music, and Miguel will then put a picture of this guy up on his wall, so then this guy can cross the bridge back and forth as well, and visit the land of the living. Again, this plot is so layered, but so well thought out. There's a flying cat that has been sent to retrieve Miguel because he doesn't belong there. He's not the right kind of dead, he's just cursed. The cat animation seems like it was made from like 1990s computer graphics. That's weird. Miguel ends up lost in some art studio and we see a guy painting a naked skeleton lady, and my knee-jerk reaction is to think that was not appropriate, but whatever. Miguel ends up coordinating a live theater production. Then he meets back up with that weird liar guy, and everyone's making fun of him because I guess this guy died choking on a burrito cold. Dela Cruz is having a talent contest and the winner gets to play on stage with him later tonight. Not sure if that detail is going to be an important part of this movie or not. We go to what looks like the poor part of town. So this guy, his name is Hector. He's where everyone without loved ones lives. They're trying to find someone who will lend Miguel their guitar so Miguel can play in the talent show. Some old guy in a hammock hooks him up with his guitar, and Hector plays him a song. The guy in the hammock slowly disappears. This is because no one remembers him. When no one is left alive that remembers you, you fade away. I mean, that's sad and all, but they got a guitar. Hector is telling Miguel that he taught De La Cruz how to play guitar, but it's not with his usual arrogance. They're bonding. They go to De La Cruz Castle. It's Battle of the Bands time. Winner gets to play with De La Cruz later tonight. Montage of the various talent show acts. The last one is a trio of skeleton nuns with accordions, and the crowd reaction is dead. Huh? Crowd reaction dead? Just kidding. One guy is grooving into it, and I laughed out loud. It was really funny animation. Miguel says he's nervous and admits he's never performed in front of a crowd before. Hector absolutely loses it. I could see the foreshadowing. He has everything on the line with this. I'm guessing he's very close to being forgotten. That's sad. Hector pep talks him and sends him out on stage. The relationship between the two is pretty sweet. It's building. Miguel knocks it out of the park. The dog drags Hector out onto the stage, and he starts dancing and singing backup. I love everything about this movie. But then the winged cat sent to find Miguel is hot on his trail. Miguel with his red bunny hug. Yes, a bunny hug. A bunny hug is what people here in Saskatchewan call a hoodie. Anyway, he reminds me of Elliot. Miguel sees his family looking for him in the crowd, so Miguel drags Hector off the stage, and Hector is like, "You have other family? Why not ask them?" Because they hate music. They get into a fight, and Miguel throws the picture of Hector gave him to put on his mantle to keep Hector from fading away back at Hector. I hope that made sense. Miguel is on the run and runs into the dead great-great-grandma, and she sings for him. I thought you hated music. She loved music until she had Coco, and then she loved something else, but De La Cruz didn't feel the same way. Miguel tried to walk into De La Cruz's party and gets bounced, so he sweet talks the band that actually won the contest to pretend he's part of that band just to sneak inside. He's now inside De La Cruz Castle. Everything is bouncing off my TV. I am not taking a single frame of this movie for granted. There's a DJ, and they're showing a bunch of old black and white De La Cruz movies on the walls. This party is awesome. This movie is awesome. He's looking for his great-great-grandpa, De La Cruz. He gets on the balcony and he starts playing his guitar, and his singing captivates the entire audience. They all kind of part as he sings and plays and walks towards De La Cruz. Then he falls into the pool, and De La Cruz saves him. His makeup comes off, and De La Cruz is like, "You're the alive kid everyone's talking about." Miguel says he's his great-great-grandson, and he needs his blessing. De La Cruz rejoices, and everyone cheers. This is a great moment. Montage of Cruz showing his grandson around to everyone. He's so proud. I cannot predict where any of this is going. Like, I have no idea how this Disney movie is going to end for once. The adult side of me knows there's got to be a twist pretty soon, but the cold side of me is wide-eyed and completely captivated. Miguel asks if it was tough choosing music over family, but it was his only choice. Here it comes. He tells Miguel they are musicians and they can't be tied down to one family. The world is their family. He wants Miguel to stay, but he needs to go home before sunrise or he will die for real. De La Cruz says he has his blessing, and he says he hopes he dies soon. That's funny in a dark way, because then he can come back. Hector busts in. He tells Coco they had a deal. Then Hector busts it wide open and says he actually wrote every De La Cruz hit song, and De La Cruz just stole them all. Whoa! We find out that De La Cruz actually killed Hector. They were bandmates, and Hector needed to leave and wanted to take the songs, and De La Cruz said he can't make it without these songs, so he had a toast, and he poisoned Hector. De La Cruz is a murderer. This is the twist, and I didn't see it coming, and this is amazing. He gets Hector tossed out and is like, "So, my blessing, huh?" He asks Miguel if he's going to tell anyone, and Miguel is like, no. De La Cruz doesn't trust him. He takes the picture of Hector and doesn't give Miguel his blessing and has security toss him into the swamp dungeon. Miguel is screwed and slowly is turning into a real skeleton. Hector's in the dungeon as well. He starts spasming. His daughter is forgetting him. All this is because he wanted to see his daughter. His daughter, Coco. What? This movie, Hector's Miguel's great-great-grandpa, not De La Cruz. Coco is forgetting him because she has dementia. Like, for real, this script is beautiful. He wrote her a song he used to sing to her every night. Flashback of him singing to his baby girl, and we come out of it, and it was him who was headless in the picture with the guitar, not De La Cruz. I am doing mental gymnastics to keep up with this movie. Holy crap, is Coco a home run. Great-great-grandma shows up riding on the back of the flying cat, and everyone is free. His dog, Dante, who I haven't talked about yet, became a spirit dog. His great-great-grandma is still busty in skeleton form, and I have questions about the female anatomy now. Miguel tells her De La Cruz murdered Hector, and she is still kind of mean. Okay, she will give Miguel her blessing, but he needs to find De La Cruz to get Hector's picture. She gives him an ultimatum. She will help him get the picture, but then he returns with no music. He agrees. Time to give De La Cruz a receipt. The entire family sneaks into Castle De La Cruz and starts beating De La Cruz. Great-great-grandma ends up on stage in front of the entire party. starts singing. Miguel and Hector grab guitars and play along. Hilarity ensues, and she ends up getting the picture back, gives it to Miguel, and swerve, she doesn't make him not play music. Then another swerve. De La Cruz grabs Miguel and is going to toss him off the roof. They fire up a camera and project this for the entire crowd and party to see, and we hear De La Cruz admits to murdering Hector, and he tosses the kid off the roof anyways. Spirit Dog saves him, but Hector's picture falls in the lake. De La Cruz gets on stage, and everyone heard and saw this, so they start booing him. The giant flying cat carries him away and tosses him into another giant bell that falls on him, crushing him a second time. That's great. Full circle. Everything is happening so fast. Hector is dying. Coco is forgetting about him, and the sun is setting. Miguel has to go. He promises he won't let Coco forget him, and bam, he's transported back, and he wakes up in the leaves in the shrine with the guitar and the picture. He charges home with the guitar. Little brother is on a mission. He busts in and he locks himself in the room with Coco. He tells her to remember Hector, her papa. He's showing her the guitar and the picture with his head removed. He's begging her, please don't forget him. This is excruciating. She doesn't remember Hector. Everyone is mad at Miguel, and Miguel picks up the guitar and plays Remember Me for Mama Coco, and she smiles as she starts singing along, and I feel like saying a lot of this movie aloud doesn't do it justice. This scene is heavy, people. She removes a book of poems her dad Hector wrote her, and in the book is the missing head that was torn out of the original Hector family photo on the wall. Also, for the record, it was wonderful how they threaded the very real connection to music and people who suffer from dementia. 1 year later, Hector has replaced De La Cruz as the icon in the entire town. Nice. On the mantle is the fixed picture of Hector, and he's okay, and a pic of Mama Coco now to the side of the bridge of the dead, and there's Hector. Okay, does that make sense? His wife and Coco. Okay, they come to the big party with all the family, living and the dead, and Miguel is singing and playing the guitar. We pan up to the fireworks, credits. Wow, this is now securely in my top 5 favorite Disney movies of all time. Absolutely incredible, and a fitting theme for the Mexico Pavilion. As I mentioned off the top, last time we were there in 2019, we had our son use all our extra snack credits. I told him to try a different snack from every pavilion and rate them, so I will leave you with my son back in 2019 at the Mexico Pavilion testing and rating some churros. After that, I'll be honest, it's 12:45 a.m. I might just go wake up my kids. What are these?
Churros. Snack number 1, Mexico. Oh, yeah.
Out of 10?
Oh. I don't want to go too high, but like 8.
That's what I think about.
What do you think?
What we have is a concern about Curtis Anderson. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. I was wondering if the man has some kind of a hold over the channel that he's allowed to be employed for so long with the standards of journalism and personal appearance that he has. Thank you.
Okay, Macy.